Hi, in this video we'll be demonstrating how to export a Navisworks file out of Revit. In this example I'm using Revit 2014. Exporting the Navisworks file out of Revit, generally they want to be used in a program called Navisworks Freedom. Navisworks Freedom is Autodesk's free program to view Navisworks files, but Navisworks files that have to be in an NWD format. When Revit exports, it exports in the NWC file format, not the NWD. So the NWC file format can only be opened by Navisworks Manage, which is their not free program, their high-end product. That program you'll use to create the NWD file that Navisworks Freedom can open. So some preparations before you do this. You'll have to have the add-on exporter, Navisworks add-on exporter installed in Revit, and you'll eventually need Navisworks Manage to create the NWD file. Okay, so let's get going. First off, I have a project open here, and for a model to get exported, you have to be in a 3D view. Navisworks will tell you that once you start to export. So we've got a 3D view here. Another good practice is to create a view and maybe call it Navisworks export. And in this view, it's a 3D view, you can go in and start turning off things you don't want to see. So I'm going to right click, I'll hide a couple of these objects. Let's say I don't want to see these things, hide, and let's say I don't want to see the landscape, hide that as well. So again, you're not affecting other views because I'm in this particular view. So basically, when you're exporting out, what you see is what you get. Once I export this out to Navisworks, only this geometry will be exported. Instead of missing objects or there's other objects you want to hide, it's more difficult to hide it in the Navisworks program. So do it in here, then next time you export again, you don't have to forget to turn those off because you're in this Navisworks export view. So if we want to export this particular model, we'll go up to the add-ins, external tools, then we'll click on the Navisworks 2014. In this case, we're using the 2014. So we'll click on that. And we'll get this dialog box up here. Now, before you export, by default, if you export your model, you'll only export your model here, not any linked models. Okay, so what you have to do if you want to export the linked models as well, you'll have to click on the Navisworks settings here. So we'll click on that. And here we have the Navisworks options. What you want to make sure you have checked on is this one right here saying convert linked files. Make sure that's checked on. Okay. And then you simply hit. And before you continue, you can see we're looking at an NWC file. That's good. So we'll call this test. Let's say 1, 2, 3, and I'll hit save. Now, depending on the size of your project, complexity of it, how many linked files, this procedure may take a long time, so be patient. This file is fairly small, so you can see it's pretty fast. Okay, so now that's done. My NWC, my cached file is done. Now I've got to open up Navisworks Manage to create the NWD file. So I'll just flip over to Navisworks Manage here, and I'll click on Open, and I'll pick on my test. And now before I do it, make sure the bottom here, by default, Navisworks is looking at NWD. We want to look at that cached file. So NWC. Okay, and there's my test projects, test 1, 2, 3, cache. I'm going to open that. And here we go. Here's my model. And I can simply now file, save as, and I want to pick a NWD file. This is the file that can be opened by Navisworks Freedom. Click on Save. And that's it. So we've created the Navisworks Freedom file, NWD, that we can now distribute to anyone that has the free Naviswork Freedom program from Autodesk. They can freely open this model up, but the only thing to be concerned about is the Navisworks Freedom cannot save. So anything they do in the Freedom program, like you can do save views and walkthroughs and I believe sectioning, all that stuff you can do, but you can't save it. So it's kind of temporary. So keep that in mind. But that's it. Thanks for watching.